Frag Radio.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back for another episode of Frag Tag Radio. And here with y'all today are your boys Paradius
and J Ray, baby.
So first, want to get those plugs out there. Appy Gamer, Appy makes you happy. That's the big one. And then of course, gaming news and reviews. Game On, shouts to Troy. Game RSS, which
shouts to Troy.
Not even sure about Game RSS. Def said that it had dropped from the Google Play Store. So,
well, I don't know because I'll have to contact them because I'm not sure. I'm just looking. It was never on the App Store, so.
Yeah, it was Google Play, but.
Yeah, I don't know.
Don't know.
I'll check with.
Either way, plenty of other apps. Just get Appy Gamer, gaming news and reviews.
I'd be surprised. Why would they take it off the App Store? It's a pretty big app. Well,
but yeah, huge show today. Huge show.
Got like a whole 5 topics to talk about.
Huge show. So first off is the whole Destiny controversy. First, so they came out. They put the Taken King on the Xbox Marketplace, so you can pre-order it now. And people saw that you could get the regular Taken King for what's like $40. And then they had this Taken King Collector's Edition. So I clicked on it, and this is before even any of the controversy even started. And I was like $80 for a Collector's Edition when the regular one was $40. I was like, what do you get with that? And I saw that it had the emotes and the class items or whatever in that one little package. But then I also saw it had the core game of Destiny and the 2 DLCs. I was like, because I'm interested in that Collector's Edition content, even though I'm not huge on Destiny.
Well, that, and it's also got. Well, I'll get into what else it has and what a lot of the misconception is when we continue. All right.
So, I'm interested in getting that, but I was like, I'm not going to pre-order. I'm going to wait because they've got to be having a collector's edition of Taken King for players who already have bought the game. Maybe they just haven't put it on the store yet. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah. I
was like, so I'll just wait, and then. That's when the news started coming out, and then the interview with Luke Smith on Eurogamer, and that was just a disaster.
Yeah, that was a disaster. He definitely didn't think that through.
No, not at all. I mean, they're asking him straight up questions, and then like the way it was worded sounded like he was even starting to get annoyed with the interviewer. Like for asking, because I guess he felt like he was asking him the same questions over and over, but he wasn't giving him a straight answer at first. And then when he finally did give him a straight answer, it was pretty much like, the fans gonna pay whatever we charge, motherfucker.
Yeah, that's kind of the way it seemed. And again, the interviewer actually came out and said that it wasn't meant the way it sounded, but at the same time, he sounded very insincere about the whole situation.
Right.
And I don't think it was necessarily what he said. Well, it was what he said, but even though it was in a joking manner, he still never addressed the issue,
right.
Which was, to me, the biggest thing. I didn't care that he was joking about throwing money at the screen as much as most people are, even though he did come off like an asshole or an ass hat.
Right.
But it was that he still never addressed the issue, which made it seem like he didn't care or they didn't care about any of that. And if we've learned anything from the Destiny community is they don't take shit that you can't get that other people can get very lightly.
Yeah.
I mean, when it comes to Destiny, you want everything in the damn game. So
if you're a Destiny player, you're a collector.
And exactly. And it's a game about collecting items and
that's why they had to expand the vaults to give everybody more space.
Exactly. And or for instance, that's why, people are still pissed about the blacksmith shader because there's no way to get it if they didn't pre-order the Call of Duty. And right. People still are asking about getting that shader that don't have it. I mean, that's what Destiny is. And I think that
people who bought this shirt gonna get that exclusive Nepal shader.
I think the biggest issue is that they are letting Destiny newcomers that have never played Destiny come in with items that nobody else will be able to get unless they rebuy the core game and the previous DLCs. So that's what caused this pitchfork uproar.
Yeah.
I mean, oh my God, I've never seen, so many people united over a community for one game, united over one cause. I mean, it's insane.
Twitter was aflame.
So they came out with a solution.
Such a good solution.
They dug themselves a deeper hole by telling, oh, well, don't worry. Well, first of all, it started with, oh, we haven't forgotten about our core fans, the fans that help build the community. We got something even better for y'all. So don't get, which turns out is a Black Sparrow, a shader, and
emblem.
And an emblem. Thank you. Thank you for that, Destiny.
And, well, supposedly there's something else to come.
Yeah, but they haven't announced that. But from what we've heard so far, it doesn't give me hope that something else to come is going to be great. But don't worry, fear not.
And
Year one Destiny.
It also feels like no matter what they announce, I'm still going to want them class specific, them class items.
Well, fear not, because you can get them
for $20.
All you got to do is drop $20. So this is where the whole thing kind of gets me confused and frustrated. Bungie basically was like, okay, well, if you want them, don't worry, we'll let you buy them too for $20. So they were in a conundrum. They can't sell those items for too less because then they're devaluing the collector's edition that comes with the core game for $80.
Yeah.
But they can't sell them for too much because then the Pitchfork Destiny community is going to flip out like they already have. $20 for this. So how do you put a value on those items? Well, the way you do it is let's sit down and look at it from an outside perspective of everything you get.
Yeah. So
you get the core game, you get the 2 DLCs, and you get the Taken King.
Yeah.
Okay. What's a number value on that? Well, they've already established that the Taken King is $40.
Yeah.
So that now you're saying that if you've established that the class items and stuff is $20, now you're getting Destiny and the 2 DLCs for $20.
Yeah.
That doesn't seem right.
Which would be Destiny for 10 and 5 for each of the DLCs.
Yeah, right. And then think about it this way. Okay, well, they're thinking, okay, well, we don't want to devalue the collector's edition, but if I pay $20 for those class items, am I going to get all the physical stuff, which there is a lot of physical stuff that you get with the Destiny Taken King collector's edition? Am I going to get that too? Because if I'm paying $20 and the math works out right, I should get all that too.
Right.
Meaning the poster. Oh, I mean, there's just so much physical stuff that you get with the Taken King collector's edition. I mean, it's like a bag of stuff this big.
Reading it on the store doesn't sound like you do.
No, you don't. And that's my point.
Yeah.
I should get that if I'm paying, because I'm paying the full value, the $20 that that the collector's edition people that are buying the core game and the DLCs are paying. They're paying basically, they're valuing it the same, but I'm not getting the physical stuff and they are.
Yeah.
Doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
I guess we're paying for the convenience of not having to use the disc.
Well, you don't have, but that's the problem, that even on the Xbox One store you can buy it.
Right.
And it's just it's ridiculous because the whole thing doesn't make sense. So now they're saying, okay, now they're basically introducing microtransactions into the game. Not in a nutshell, they are, because they're letting us buy items for in-game.
Right.
Okay, but the value of those, which is 9 items for $20, you're valuing them at roughly over $2 a pop.
Right.
So I don't know. The whole thing doesn't make sense in my idea. So I was watching. I actually seen some people have come up with a pretty good idea. Okay, well, you got 3 class-specific items.
Right.
I have 3 warlocks. Let me just buy the warlock one.
Right.
Let me buy the items I want for $2 a piece then.
Yeah, well, because all I have is 300s. I don't have.
Right. So let you just buy the class, the shaders, the emblems, and the hunter, and at least not have to spend, because you've already introduced microtransactions in a sense, but you're just making us buy it as a package. Which again, I'll reiterate, the whole value of the thing doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Because if the Taken King's $40, the full collector's edition is $80. Okay, so you've established that there's a $40 window for the content, for basically the old Destiny content and the collector's edition content. and the physical content.
Right.
So why do I have to pay half of that $40 for a third of that content?
Maybe even a fourth.
Well, yeah, you could even make a case for that because the DLCs and stuff.
Right.
So, and that's where the whole thing, and Bungie's put themselves in a no-win situation because they didn't plan for this. But it's just, it's a mess.
Yeah, and then it's also weird, kind of hard to believe that no one internally looked at it and said, you know what, the people who have been playing this forever are going to want this collector's edition content, and they're not going to want to buy the core game over again. How did no one internally say that?
That's why I think people are so upset, because I think people think that they're like, oh, well, people will buy the core game over again just to get these items.
Yeah.
And I think that's why people are so upset, especially with what Luke Smith said, because it made it sound like that was their point of view.
Yeah.
And that's what has gotten, and me included, into an outrage, dude. It's, I mean, I love Destiny.
We can sell the core game again. Couple of little stupid emotes in there, class item or two. They'll just throw money at the screen,
dude. Yeah, I mean, dude, I'm a big Destiny fan, and I do love the game. While it's not a perfect game or even a great game, it's a game that I enjoy playing.
It's an addictive game.
It is, and so yeah, I'm one of those people that wants those emotes. I'm one of those people that wants those exotic class items that have an unlock path on them with perks like no other class item in the game has. It's a big deal.
It's a pretty big deal.
It is. For a Destiny player that's a long-time Destiny player like we are, that have everything.
Day one.
That have everything you can possibly have in the game. It's
include the blacksmith shader.
Yeah. Well, I don't have the blacksmith shader, but I'm one of those people that wants it.
Yeah.
And but I'm not. I've forgiven that. It's a shader. I'm okay with that. I've got a shader that looks almost identical to it, so I'm okay.
Right.
But I just think that the whole situation of leaving your community behind and acting like your community is so devout that they will rebuy the game just to get these items is what has really caused this turmoil from the beginning. So anyway, let's see what else they come out with for year one players. But I can tell you that people have to speak with their wallets, because if everybody goes out there and buys this $20 collector's edition upgrade to get those items, then what have they learned? And the sad thing is I might be one of them that goes out and pays 20 freaking bucks for it. But I'm gonna.
Sad thing is I probably would too.
I know, and it's but
screwed up, man.
It is. It really is. But I can tell you one thing, that if the Taken King doesn't come with the goods, I might not even play it.
Yeah.
Because I've finally gotten myself out of Destiny to where I'm not touching it. So they're gonna have to come with something other than a new raid and some new subclasses to pull me in.
Oh, people are hating on the $40 for just Taken King itself, because we're paying $40 for one planet, one raid, and 2 or 3 strikes, and one new subclass each. Whereas before we paid $60 for 4-5 planets if you include the tower. How many strikes? 5, 6. How many strikes?
And that's what I mean.
2 subclasses per.
Deej came out and said that they've only revealed about 10% of the Taken King, and the House of Wolves caught me by surprise. There was a lot in House of Wolves that I didn't think was going to be there. So I'm hoping the same thing with Taken King will happen. Right. That's going to be a big factor on if I'm going to pay $40 for this or not. Yeah. Because if it's essentially like the size of House of Wolves or the Dark Below, then I'm not paying $40 for it. I'm not.
Yeah.
I'll move on to another game that I will say too, just to let everybody know, Xbox owners, on September 15th, you will finally be able to get Hawk Moon. You will get all the PlayStation exclusive previous
the strikes and the multiplayer maps. They're remixing the strikes.
There's going to be 2 versions of all the PlayStation exclusive strikes that come to Xbox. There's going to be the original in its original form, and then they are updating and I guess making them more difficult, adding stuff to them all for the Xbox. And you'll get the 4th Horseman, you'll get the 757 or 747. I can't remember, the 747 Dynasty. Right. So somebody have to help me out there, because I don't know the 4th Horseman, Hawk Moon, Monte Carlo, It's 747 Dynasty, I think it is. It's a pulse rifle or a scout rifle. Anyway, you'll get all those exotics. Am I missing any of the exotics?
Was there a shotgun?
The Fourth Horseman.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, okay. Monte Carlo, Hawk Moon, Fourth Horseman, 2 originally and 1 with each DLC. So yes.
Yeah.
And then 4 strikes? 3 strikes?
Yeah, 1 from the original game, 1 from the first DLC, 1 from the second DLC. 3 strikes.
3 strikes. And then you'll also get the exclusive multiplayer maps.
Right. Which I think there was at least 1 with each.
Right.
Yeah, I think 1 DLC might have even had 2.
So for Xbox owners, that's almost like a whole new DLC pack. But this is what's going to really piss me off again.
Are they trying to charge?
Are they going to charge for that?
Yeah.
I don't think so, because to introduce Hawk Moon into the game, how does that whole thing work? Are they just going to say, here's the PlayStation exclusive content for $10, but you buy it, you get Hawk Moon, you get the Fourth Horseman, you get the Monte Carlo.
If it automatically goes to my inventory, I would
Right, exactly. Or are they just going to just unleash it all in an update and say, go find a Hawk Moon? That'd be my preferred route.
I'd be good either way. The way I wouldn't be good is if they unleashed it all into the game and paid me $10 for it, and I still had
to hunt down the Hawk Moon and yeah, right, exactly. That's what I don't.
Especially since I've already paid the exact same amount PlayStation owners have.
Exactly. Yeah. No, I would hope that they wouldn't do that.
And then they're going to have new PlayStation exclusive content in the Taken King.
Yep.
Which we'll have to wait another year. But by the time that becomes no longer exclusive, Destiny 2 will be coming out.
That's true. That's true.
So it won't even matter.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of questions too about how the upgrade path in the Taken King is going to work as well, like with etheric light and everything. I wonder if they're going to keep the etheric light strategy.
I would hope so, yeah, because obviously they're going to keep raising the weapon damage and the light level with each. Because there's supposed to be 2 more after the Taken King. There's supposed to be 2 more smaller DLCs,
right,
like the 2 we have already gotten.
I know.
Before Destiny 2 comes out.
One of them's Vex Mines or something.
Yeah.
And then there's supposed to be a Cabal one.
Yeah. About time the Cabal got some love.
Yeah. I wouldn't. I still want to see.
Destiny 1 loves the Hive, because we've just been playing lots of Hive stuff.
Although the Taken King isn't technically Hive.
Right.
You know, the Taken or Cabal, Vex. It's all the races.
Right. But ran by Oryx, who is Hive.
Yeah, he's technically Hive, but he doesn't look Hive. He looks like his own damn thing. Dude looks crazy. But yes, his sons are Hive, so I guess
he's upset that we killed his son.
He's pissed off.
He's coming.
Anyway,
bringing an army.
Moving on. Enough Destiny, because I'm just getting my blood boiling thinking about it.
Yeah. All right. So Warframe, baby, time for the bi-weekly Warframe update. So the Tubman of regular event just finished. Was about a week ago, since our last episode, and you had the choice to side with either Alad V and go for the Karak Wraith assault rifle, or to side with Nef Anyo and go for the Dara Vandal assault rifle. I already have both weapons because Digital Extreme hooked us up to do some coverage on the game, so it didn't really matter to me who won, although personally I sided with Nef Anyo just because he seemed to have the better rewards with each phase, because like the way it happened, the events broke down into phases. Like the first phase, Nef Anyo versus Alad V, you choose to side with one, and then this phase goes on for 6 to 12 hours, and once that, if you do 3 missions for one or the other within that 12 hours, then you get whatever reward is up. And Nef Anyo constantly had, or most of the time had, the gold fusion cores, whereas Alad V always had the blue fusion cores, which is uncommon fusion cores versus rare fusion cores. Well, of course, I'm going to want to get the rare fusion cores. So I ended up siding with Nef Anyo. And then the times that Nef Anyo had the uncommon fusion cores, Alad V would just had like a handful of credits. And I'm like, well, I'd rather have the uncommon fusion cores than that. So it was clear that it almost seemed like the game wanted us to side with Nef Anyo. But in the end, Xbox players ended up siding with Alad V anyway. And we ended up getting the Karak Wraith. Because no matter who you sided with, you as long as you did 4 phases for one or the other, then you got whatever weapon for whoever won. and Allied V was the one that won. So everybody on Xbox got the Karak Wraith. Interestingly, PlayStation players sided with Nathaniel, and they got the Duramanal assault rifle. So they had a little bit different experience. So the way the missions were, this introduced the new Sea Lab tile set, which is almost like a Bioshock city underwater type of level, where there's the Grenier research, and pretty much Tao Regor, who is the villain of this DLC, is cloning or growing these men in these like tubes in his like lab or whatever down deep below the sea, and you're supposed to go down there and destroy them. Or you could steal the research because, it depends on who you side with. If you go with Nathaniel like I did, you go down there to destroy the research and the tube men and get the hell out of there. And if you side with Allied V, then you go down there to steal the research because I guess Allied V's probably trying to do some crazy mad scientist shit and grow his own tube men. But that is what it is. So also wanted to talk about, they had the dev stream just a couple days ago, talked about a bunch of things that are going to be upcoming. Number one was mag. Mag used to be the most useless frame in the game. No one ever used mag. Mag sucked. And then they added an augment mod for mag called Greedy Pull, where
not Greedy Pull.
Yeah. So for people who don't know, Mag's one of her abilities is called Pull, and when you use the ability, any enemies that are in the area will get pulled towards you.
Just like in Mass Effect.
Right. Well, if you add on this augment called Greedy Pull, any ammo that is dropped on the ground, any energy, health that is dropped on the ground, any mods, everything gets pulled towards you. And that's huge. Because especially if you're doing like a defense mission where you're trying to guard one point and everybody needs energy to keep their super abilities going, because you're gonna need to use a lot of supers in a high level mission like a T4 defense. Well, Greedy Mag is just constantly pulling in energy if she has the Greedy Pull mod. So
Greedy Pull.
But now they're talking about nerfing it. I guess they're saying that it's like overused. I really don't know. But the weird thing is they haven't decided how they want to nerf it yet, and they're asking fans like how they should handle it. Well, I'm here to tell you, don't do nothing about it. It's perfect just like it is. Okay? Appreciate that. Next was they showed off a little bit of the new star chart. They're completely reworking star chart. Right now, you sit down at the navigation console, planets appear around you in a circle, and then you go and choose which planet you want to go to. Now, when you bring up the star chart, it almost looks like an older time, like an astral map, and you don't even see the planets. There's like 5 different sectors, or mini galaxies. I don't know what the hell they're going to call them, but each of them does have a name. Like one of them's like the Expanse or whatever, and then like you go there, and then there's a handful of planets here, or you can back up and go to this Expanse over here, a handful of planets over here. So essentially all the planets are still going to be there. They're just breaking them down into like subsections, I guess, and making it look a little bit more, a little better. It does look better, although what I still am worried about is how they are talking about lowering, because right now there's 17 planets, including the Dojo, the Void, and the Derelict. Well, without those, it's only 14 planets. But on each of those 14 planets, there's at least 20 missions on each planet. Well, they're talking about lowering it down to 20 to 30 missions overall out of all the planets, and having the missions rotate every day to where those 20 to 30 missions are different every day. And the community's pretty split about this, but I would say the majority of them are not feeling that at all, because it's going to essentially take away a lot of player choice in the game, because you're going to be limited to whatever 20 to 30 missions have to be available on this day. Whereas right now, you can just go to any planet, do whatever mission you want, how you want, and Warframe is really a play like you want game. Have it your way. Burger King, But I don't know. The way it sounded like with this new star charts, it might not be that way. So I like the way the new star chart's looking, but I hope that they don't do the missions like that and get rid of all the missions. Because I like the missions the way they are now. All right, so next up was Parkour 2.0. They showed off Excalibur. At first, they tried to do this on a couple of dev streams ago, and you could see the progress in it. It was coming along, how you could run along the wall and then stop midway and then continue and then run back the other way without falling or moving off the wall. Well, now you can like bunny hop along the wall, which is seems like gives a lot more freedom to the movement, where you can like move along the wall or stop and hang on the wall. And like if you know the enemies are about to spawn in the doorway over here, you can hop up and then just hang there and then wait. And then once they start coming out below you, then start raining down lead on them or whatever. So Parkour 2.0 is coming along really well. And then they started showing off some things that they're going to be adding to the game. Turrets, baby. It's actually pretty crazy that they haven't added turrets in until now, because just about pretty much every shooter game out there has turrets in them. So, but it was really cool to see turrets in Warframe, and having a segment with just mowing down enemies with this turret that has like a shield thing in front of it. Almost reminded me of like Halo style turrets. So those are coming. Also, deployable cover, which will, right now they're still working on them. They're almost like airbags. They deploy and then they're there, but they get shot one time and then they like deflate like a balloon. So they said that they're still working on that, and obviously by the time that they're done and are actually released into the full game, they'll have more health and then won't just collapse after one bullet hits them. Otherwise, it would just be stupid.
They might.
They're also doing a rework on Frost. As you know, the rework on Excalibur is pretty much done. That'll be coming very soon. And then now they're doing a rework on Frost powers. Well, I think the main thing I saw on the rework they're doing for him is right now one of his powers is an ice wave, where he just boom, and then like a wave of ice comes out straight forward. Well, now you do it and then boom, it comes out in a cone. So it affects a larger area. And it also seemed to deal more damage and will take out enemies a lot better. So I'm really looking forward to playing around with Frost and using the new Ice Wave, because Frost is actually one of my favorite characters. I use him. He might be my most used Warframe, if not him, Loki.
Using that snow globe.
Yeah, I love that snow globe. Love that snow globe. And then they showed off a little bit of the Kubro armor, which is going to be coming out soon. Ain't nothing like putting some armor on your Kubro. Ain't nothing like it. They haven't really
Kubro armor.
Yeah, they haven't really verified if you're going to be able to like mod the Kubro armor, or if it's going to have any actual effect on your Kubros, or if it's just going to be like a cosmetic thing. Really, I hope that you're able to like use the arcane enchantments. And,
you know what I think?
Enchant them. That would be nice.
I think it's cool, bro.
Cool, bro. It's cool, bro. Next up, they're working on a new trial, which they didn't show the whole trial, but they did show what looked to be the final boss battle of the trial, which is an Arcwing boss battle, which I think looks pretty amazing. All right, so this boss is huge. He takes up the whole screen, and the way it looks, or the way that we're talking about it, it sounds like 4 of you are going to be in Arcwings on the outside shooting at this giant glob thing, dude.
Arcwing duck.
Yeah, while the other 4 actually find an opening in the creature and fly your Arcwings inside of the creature and kill dude from the inside.
Not from the inside.
Oh yeah, it's going to take hella teamwork. So that just looks pretty crazy, and I can't wait to play it.
Take them down from the inside.
Yeah.
Got a little excited about that.
Got to stick them in the main vein. Anybody who's seen older episodes know what that means.
Anybody who
stick them in the main vein. But yeah, just seeing an Arcwing boss battle totally had my Phoenix Rising for real. And speaking of Phoenix Rising, segue, Gears of War Beta was just great. Did you play?
I played. I did.
What were your thoughts on it? Coming back to the old Gears, but with the new stuff added.
Felt like Gears.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I liked it. Just you could tell that they haven't really. I mean, visually they had upgraded the maps, but the maps seemed like just like they used to be, right? I mean,
oh yeah, they haven't changed the layout.
That's what I was gonna. It was exactly as I remembered them, and one of the things that I noticed immediately is you could tell how far that they've come with building their maps and their map design since the original Gears. Because they were slightly, I guess, dated in design compared. Not that they weren't good, they were great. But it's just you could tell that they've come how far they came in Gears 2 and Gears 3 in their map design.
Right. Well, the map started slowly becoming a little bit more interactive.
Yeah. Right.
Over time. Yeah.
And a little bit more verticality was given, especially in Gears 3.
Yeah.
Except
for Gears Judgment when they weren't symmetrical anymore and like one side of the map was completely different from the other. I didn't like that. But I think Gears
Judgment, I don't think a lot of people even consider part of the Gears trilogy. I mean, part of the Gears.
Yeah, it was a spinoff.
Yeah. But I didn't play it a lot. I played it to get the items for the game when it comes out.
Right.
And played a couple matches and did okay. I've never been really great at Gears, so it's not something that I ever was going to spend a lot of time with. But
well, me and Gears, we're like.
Yeah,
like
I know.
This.
Oh, I know.
And when it comes out, I ain't gonna be playing nothing else except for some Warframe here and there. And if they put Alan Wake on backwards compatibility.
Please, for the love of God, at least put American Nightmare on backwards compatibility so that I can get something I already own digitally straight to my Xbox One, Alan Wake. Seems like it'd be an easy one to do, right?
Yeah.
And put the original Alan Wake on there.
Both Alan Wake and American Nightmare are pretty up there on the list. They're in like the top 30.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Alan Wake was higher. And then
Alan Wake's higher than American Nightmare.
I'd love to see Fable Anniversary. We talked about this. We'd love to see games like Arkham Origins or Splinter Cell Conviction that came out very late in the Ghost Recon Future Soldier. Just games that came out really late in the life cycle that didn't come out for the next-gen consoles, but came out for last-gen consoles after we already purchased the next-gen console. So
yeah, and there were some games like that.
I know, and I never once
definitely Fable Anniversary and Stick of Truth. Those are two big ones that I never got to finish.
Well, you know what I did for Xbox One? Xbox One came out, and I traded in my damn 360 and never looked back.
Yeah, thankfully your digital titles are still tied to your account.
Oh, I know. They just keep on popping up, baby. Love it.
Loving it.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. I actually played Battle Block Theater the other night.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, really?
Solomon's been playing it a lot. That's like
I also played Mass Effect, the original Mass Effect. And I was wondering, can we get Castle Crashers? How did we get Battle Block Theater but not Castle Crashers? And then I found out why.
Yeah.
Because
remastered.
Exactly.
Yeah.
With all new textures.
Which is kind of weird because the textures in that game were kind of like not textures to begin with.
Exactly. It didn't make a whole lot of the resolution is supposed to be upped and stuff. Which cool. Couple new modes.
The only thing that seemed like that they added was that new mode where
you had to avoid the monsters or whatever by jumping around from the
Well, I mean, it seems like it could be good fun. I mean, nothing I would spend like.
Well, the Behemoth always makes good shit, so I have faith that the mode will probably be pretty fun. But is it worth buying the game again?
It seems like it'll be good fun. It doesn't seem like something I would be thinking about, like being at work. Like, yo, I can't wait to get home and play that new mode on.
Speaking of which. I've always liked the Behemoth and Double Fine as well. Did you play Master Chalice?
I downloaded it, haven't played it.
I did.
I read about it. Though.
It's really, 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 really in depth. There's a lot of depth to the game.
I guess supposedly you're building up your kingdom, and all the while you're looking for pieces to the massive chalice. And then every once in a while you're playing, somebody might have come across a piece of the chalice, and then I don't know.
Well, you have heroes, and it's a strategy game, sort of, to where your heroes have to fight this. You have a kingdom that's like in a map, and then there's like the taint or the darkness is trying to take over,
right?
And there's regions to the map, and you can
darkness. We heard that before.
Yeah. Well, you can build keeps on each region, and your heroes you can retire them to a keep, match them up, and then they'll have babies and create more heroes. But when you retire them, they can't fight anymore. You can also send them to research. You can make some of them trainers, but it's a constant balance of, do I keep this one who's 18 years old in his prime, or but he's been injured, do I hope he recovers so he can still fight, or do I retire him to a keep and have a mate with another one? And they all have backstories, and they're all from houses similar to Game of Thrones. Like there's several houses, so you know which houses have like the best traits for certain things and what they're known for, and they have their own logo. It's kind of Game of Thrones-ish, which is what I liked about it. Right. But like sometimes they'll have you'll retire these two to a keep, and then it turns out the girl isn't fertile, and you're like, God damn it, I retired her for nothing. So I usually try to wait until they're like 40 or 50 to retire them, but then they don't have as many kids. It's kind of a constant balance, but it's really cool because they all have their own weapons. You upgrade their weapons. You do research. You start guilds to train them better, and you basically build up this kingdom so that they can eventually fight off the darkness.
What about that pool, yo?
Oh,
That's been free on the thing for like 3 months now.
the pool?
Playing pool.
Oh, the pool. Oh, yeah. No, I didn't play it.
Me either.
Massive Chalice got my playtime simply because it was made by Double Fine, and it turned out.
Well, it sounds intriguing. I'm definitely gonna.
No, it's worth it checking out. I mean, Double Fine makes good shit too. So
They do. That Grim Fandango though. All right, so but yeah, the Gears beta. So a couple of improvements they made. One, in the original Gears, spawn camping was a problem because this team would spawn on this side of the map, this team would spawn on this side of the map. I think occasionally they would switch places, but that was about it. So if your team was spawning on this side, you knew the enemy team was spawning on the other side, and you could immediately go to the other side, and then just spawn camping was a problem.
yeah.
So now they've made it to where there are multiple spawn points, and you might spawn where you originally spawned. You might spawn on the enemy team side. You might spawn at the back of the map, left of the map, top of the map, whatever. So spawn camping eliminated. They also added spotting, which is huge if you're actually playing with a team that works together.
I noticed that spotting was never in the original Gears, which is something that I noticed right away.
Yeah. So that was really great to see. Also, Gears feels different at 60 frames per second, and it will take you, if you're used to playing Gears and you've been a Gears fan like me and played all the Gears, and it's weird how being used to 30 frames per second makes Gears feel different, because going from 30 frames per second Gears all these years to 60 frames per second, it took me a couple matches to get my bearings and get back to being the beast that I always have been. It just took a minute. 60 frames per second definitely felt different. It feels like they slowed down the roadie run just a little bit. And I know they said that they did change the movement to be more like Gears 3's movement. I guess that's what it is. I don't know, but it feels a little slower to me than it did on the original Gears, and that's not a bad thing. Nor do I think it's a good thing either. I really don't have an opinion on it at all. It's just what it is. All the maps look beautiful. The character models especially look beautiful. I think that's one of the really great things about this Gears Ultimate is they completely redid every texture in the game.
It's so noticeable.
I mean, it actually looks like a next-gen Gears. Like, you sit there and you're playing it, and it's the old Gears, it's the original Gears, and you could feel it when you're playing it. But looking at it, it looked like a next-gen Gears.
I still think that Gears of War 4, especially that demo that they showed off, looks a shitload better than what the Ultimate Edition looks like.
Oh, it does. But that's running.
When you say a next-gen Gears, though, you just mean it looks like a whole generation above what it used to, I guess.
Yeah.
It does. It really does.
Yeah. Especially looking as far back as Gears 1, because Gears 1 to Gears 3 had a pretty huge jump in graphics.
Oh yeah, hell yeah, it did. Major, and that's kind of what I was going to compare it to. Is it looks probably a little better than Gears 3.
Yeah.
And that's a huge statement considering what it looked like.
Yeah, because Gears 3 and Halo 4, I think, and the last Forza were the three best-looking 360 games by the time that console cycle ended down.
I think Crysis 2 or Crysis 3, one was it?
Crysis 3 looked good.
It looked really good, too.
Yeah. All the Crysis looked good.
Yeah, the Crysis was just known for looking amazing.
No, for looking great. Yeah. But yeah, so as J-Ray mentioned earlier, if you played in the beta, you automatically unlocked all the weapon skins that were in the beta, which was 5 different weapon skins. 3 or 4 of them were planet themed. One of them was like a grease gun theme. One of them was like a racer theme. But they were all pretty sweet. Originally, you were going to have to play the game once each day of the beta to unlock whatever skin was available on that day. But so many people were trying to get on the beta that first day and a half to 2 days that they were having problems with the servers, yada yada. So they said, screw it. People were complaining I wasn't able to get the first skin, second skin because, y'all's fault, blah blah blah. So they said, screw it. Just whoever plays the beta gets all the skins, as long as you played it.
Well, that's good.
Also, whoever played the beta at least once gets the Thrashball drone, the Locust character to play as. Now, there is one exclusive they had in there. If you played, there was a 3-hour window on the final Saturday of the beta, and if you played in that 3-hour window, then you unlocked Thrashball Coltrane, which I did play.
Me too.
Gotta have that Thrashball Coltrane.
Seems like Thrashball Coltrane's in every damn Gears.
Yeah. Well, at least since the third or second one. One of the
Second one.
But yeah. So the first one didn't have no cool looking people. It was just normal old cogs, normal old locusts. And that's another thing that they're adding to this Gears is they're adding weapon skins because weapon skins weren't in the first Gears at all, and special characters like Thrashball Cole and those weren't in. So I think they said pretty much all the multiplayer characters from Gears 3 are in this Gears Ultimate. So we'll see, hopefully the Savage version of the Cantus and all the. I hope they add Scourge in there too, man. Even Scourge wasn't in Gears 3, but he was in Gears 2. Scourge is my favorite Locust. He was in Gears 2 as a playable multiplayer character, and that's the only game he's been in. They need to add him back.
General Ram's in there.
Yeah, General Ram's in there. Played as him a couple times.
Me too.
General Ram's the man. And then also, of course, all the PC exclusive content, the 5-6 missions that they'll be adding. So it's really going to be a nice package for $40. Looking forward to that. After that, got 2 little small reviews to do. One was Beach Buggy Racing, which is like the only Mario Kart style choice that you have on Xbox One right now. So if you're a Mario Kart, Sonic All-Star Racing
fan of kart racers in general. Yeah,
then Beach Buggy Racing is for you, and it's really your only choice. So right now,
you better hope it's for you then.
Yeah, and it's not a bad game. And anybody who thinks that name sounds familiar, it's actually a game that originated on phone. I actually had it on my phone. My son has it on his tablet, and we've played it. So when I saw it was coming to consoles, I thought that was pretty cool. But I was like, the game's kind of bare and scarce because it's a mobile game. How is that gonna? So they added a ton of stuff. There's a career mode which significantly gets harder and harder as you go on, and it's broken down into sections. And if you earn a certain number of stars in this section, then you can move on to the next section. It's like all like Cut the Rope and all those type of mobile games where they break down into difficulty sections. At the end of each section, there is a boss, which is another character you have to race against one-on-one, and if you beat that character in a race, then you unlock that character to race as yourself, which is kind of cool. There's a ton of different vehicles. It seems like all the vehicles are unlocked, or most of them are unlocked from the outset, and the real thing that you're going to want to do is pick a vehicle that you feel comfortable with and then upgrade it, because you can upgrade the handling, the acceleration, the top speed, and stuff like that. So, and you use gold that you earn from races to upgrade. The tracks are really colorful, fun. The racing, it's not as tight, not as fun gameplay as Mario Kart or Sonic All-Stars Racing, but it's pretty close. And considering this is made by a smaller independent developer, I would say it's pretty damn good. There's also, of course, as you know, with any kart racer, there's little power-ups lined across the track, and if you drive over them, then you'll get one. It might be like something to throw at whoever happens to be in front of you right now and knock them out of the way so you can take the lead, or a shield that'll come up and surround you, so if somebody behind you is trying to hit you with that turtle shell or whatever, that it won't knock you back. So essentially it is a kart racer, and it's on Xbox One. It's pretty good. So I'm gonna go 3.5 frags on Beach Buggy Racing, which I think is a pretty respectable score. Next up is SteamWorld Dig. This was originally a exclusive for the 3DS, and then it came to consoles. Xbox One is actually the last console it is coming to, because it's already come to every other one. So you play as like this, robot dude. And you've inherited this mine from your father, grandfather, whoever who has died, and you go to the town where the mine is located, and the mine is like smack in the middle of the town. It's pretty much just a hole in the ground. And then there's the town is like a population of 5, and each person in the town, one of the 5 people, are pretty much vendors, and you use them to buy stuff, upgrades, to dig farther down. And pretty much you go down there, you dig, you mine for
You
jewels,
dig.
whatever. Yeah.
You dig.
And then while you're mining down there, you eventually get to a spot where you can't dig any farther. That's your cue to go back up, sell all the stuff got from mining, get your upgrades, and one of those upgrades, lo and behold, will let you burrow through a different type of rock that will let you dig deeper and make your way farther down.
Then lo and behold, they'll hit a spot where you cannot go any farther.
And then you go back up and sell it all again. And
that's SteamWorld Dig in a nutshell.
It may sound repetitious, but it actually is pretty fun, and it's got a really good spirit to the game. Nice personality. It's actually got a lot of personality to it, and the art style is pretty nice. We actually did a review of this on 3DS a long time ago. Derek wrote the review, The Glass Torch, and so if you're interested, you can read that on the site. But I would say 4 frags for SteamWorld Dig. It is a really good game. It's just a shame that it took this long to come to Xbox One. And moving on, Killer Instinct Season 2, the story mode got added during E3.
Which is great.
So what are your feelings on it?
I like it. I've only been through it with Con Ra, and that's it. I thought it's way better than the original Season 1 story as far as the mode itself. I just...
Cutscenes are way better.
Yeah, that's because there actually is freaking cutscenes, it seems like.
Yeah. Well, before it was like still pictures that were like kind of like moving a little bit.
Yeah, no, Season 1's, they didn't put a lot of effort into that. And I like it. Haven't done it, played it nearly enough. And I want to. I want to beat it with all my favorite characters from Season 2, but I haven't gotten to it yet.
Yeah. The only shame there is that none of the Season 1 characters have the special Season 2 story mode treatment.
Yeah, they would have made Season 1 irrelevant by doing that, though, I think.
Which I hope they go back and touch up the Season 1 story.
Well, maybe they will. That'd be a good thing to do. Maybe after Season 3.
I think those characters deserve the sweet cutscenes that the Season 2 characters have.
Ain't nothing like those sweet cutscenes.
And nothing like those sweet.
Killer Instinct actually has Shadow Dojo now too, which has been out for a little while.
Yeah.
And
Shadow Jago's level.
Huh?
Oh, Shadow Dojo. I don't know.
Yeah, they have
a
Shadow Dojo now, and it is essentially a drivatar from Forza for Killer Instinct. You pick a character, you fight against the computer over and over and over again. It learns how you fight, and then they will fight against. You can go into the Shadow Challenge, and I can fight your Shadow over, and he'll earn points for you, and Killer Instinct credits for you. Or I can fight anybody who plays the game as long as you've uploaded. You can upload up to 3 or 4 shadows. So basically 4 characters, 3 or 4 characters. But your shadow has to do enough to unlock another slot. It's kind of a little cool thing they've got going on. They've really added a lot to Killer Instinct.
Oh yeah, it's a full fleshed out game now.
Check out the Shadow Dojo though. Awesome. Make your own shadows.
And then so Season 2 is pretty much wrapped up, except they are doing a rework of Shadow Jago.
Yeah.
To where he's going to have his own moves, and that'll be part of Season 2.
Thank you, because he wasn't even a character before. He was just Jago.
Jago. Yeah.
With a new skin.
Which was weird because if you did the correct things and got to the part did the secret crap to where you could fight Shadow Jago at the end of the Season 1 story mode, he had his own moves.
Right.
But playing as him, he didn't have those moves, so it was kind of weird. So, and I'm also wondering if this rework, is he going to have those moves that he had in the story mode, or are they going to give him a whole separate?
Who knows?
Or maybe a little bit of both.
Who knows? So backwards compatibility.
Yeah. We talked about it a little bit.
Yeah, we've already kind of talked about it, but
yeah. So it's how does it work? Pretty much, you go over to your My Games and Apps, scroll all the way over to the right. Any games you own that are currently supported are listed there, and then ready to install. Boom! You install them, and then they're ready to play.
By the way, for those of you that don't know, you have a full, completely working Xbox 360 dashboard on top of all those games. And a lot of people are confused on how do you bring up the 360 dashboard. There's absolutely no way to do it. Well, you're wrong. You got to press the menu and the start button on your controller at the same time. Boom. And it brings up the 360. You can set beacons. You can everything you can do on 360, you can do right there. It's insane.
Yeah,
It's
great.
it's absolutely nuts the way it actually works, but you feel like you're playing on 360 because you can essentially access your 360 OS from your Xbox One by doing that. It's really weird.
Yeah, and what's really cool for me is I've had my 360 plugged into my Xbox One via the HDMI input.
See,
This
I
whole time.
I do TV, yeah.
And then so now I can unplug that and probably plug my laptop in there.
I do cable.
Well, I used to have cable, but now that I have, XBMC, Hulu, HBO Go, Showtime Anytime, and Encore, and
Right.
Netflix, and
I have all those too.
I got rid of cable.
I have all of them too, but see, I'm too much of a fan of live sports to get rid of cable. I could never do that because I have to watch my live sports. And
What about that Sling TV? They got the sports package.
yeah, they do, and it gives you some of the sports channels like the ESPNs, and it gives you a BN Sport, but it doesn't give you like NBC Sports. It doesn't give you NFL Network. It doesn't give you MLB Network. I mean, like I'm a sports guy, man, and I watch all the channels, and I need them.
Well, what about the
XBMC Sports Devil app.
that too? But what about the apps on Xbox One, like the MLB app? Can't you use that to watch?
And I do, yeah, I use it a lot. But see, here's the problem: when the Braves, who are my team, play on a local channel, it blacks it out of the MLB.TV.
Why?
It looks up your location, knows your location, says you are blacked out from watching this due to it being on local channels, and that's how it goes. I don't know.
Now, have you ever tried going into your Xbox settings and setting your shit on like Ukraine or something, and then logging in?
No, I haven't done that. But honestly, I like using cable. I don't even hardly watch cable because when Game of Thrones comes on, I don't have HBO and stuff on cable. I don't have any because I have it through other means on HBO Go.
Right.
But and I have Netflix and I have Hulu and I have all the other of that stuff too. I have Sling TV, so I don't really need it, but I still will use it because my DVR is so critical to me because I'm working all the time that there's a lot of things I can't watch live.
Yeah.
And I just go home, press my DVR, and it's there. I don't know. It's kind of a I guess what's the word I'm looking for? Convenience.
Well, but yeah, so backwards compatibility, it seems like it's working great so far. I really haven't had any problems with it at all. And I've played, like we were talking, Battle Block Theater. I played that. I played Super Meat Boy, and I played
Toy Soldiers Cold War.
Jetpack.
I played Toy Soldiers Cold War. That was good.
The games do seem to maybe run a little bit faster. And I know the Xbox One, I guess, would upscales them a little bit, but for the most part, it looks just like on 360.
I'm sorry. Mass Effect, the original Mass Effect. Somebody ran a test, Xbox, running on Xbox One and then their 360, and cutscenes in some cases were cut in half, and even conversations and cutscenes ended early on the Xbox One because they were running at a fresh rate, a normal rate, and weren't stuttering.
Huh.
So the performance is certainly better.
Yeah.
As far as upscaling, I didn't know any difference in graphics, but I can tell you, or resolution or anything like that. But it definitely runs faster than I can tell.
Yeah.
So.
But yeah, so can't wait for it to roll out. I'm looking forward to them adding more games on there because really, not much of the games they have on there out of that 24. I'm not super.
Well, let's not forget that we're the only people, only preview owners have it right now.
Right.
So when this officially launches, I'm sure there's going to be a lot more.
Yeah, hopefully by then we'll have Gears 3, South Park.
Real quick
Red Dead
before we end the
Redemption.
show, I want to talk about the new dashboard that looks phenomenal.
Oh, yeah, it does.
God, it looks great. It's so I've watched several demos and stuff on it, not just the ones that they showed at E3 during the Xbox Daily shows, but there's actually been some hands-on that you can look on the internet and where they really go in depth, and it just runs so much smoother and better. It's unbelievable, and I can't wait to get my hands on it.
Yeah, because, I mean, the dashboard's a lot faster than 360, but...
Dashboard on Xbox One sucks. The OS sucks. I'm sorry, it sucks. I'm going to go ahead and say it. It sucks. It's terrible. It was cool when it was shiny and new and you could snap things, but it's awful after you've had your hands on it for months. And you try to snap something and it takes freaking forever, and you're in the middle of a game, and all you want to do is look at which one of your friends is online, or go to your party to leave a party, and it's terrible. And they've done a great job of improving it since it first came out. And they've had a lot of features and stuff, but
It's definitely gotten better.
Yeah, it's gotten a hell of a lot better, but it's still terrible. When you compare it to PlayStation's OS and how fast that is, it's just no comparison, and there's no excuse for that, considering that Microsoft was pretty much the master of the operating system on 360.
Right.
And this one looks like they're getting back to what they should be, to the way it should be. The overlays and stuff.
Yeah, it seems like they're taking the best stuff from 360's dash and the best stuff from
Right.
X1's dash, and they've put it into this.
Yeah, that's what it seems like. It's going to just make your console experience on Xbox One so much better. Because I'm telling you, man, I get so incredibly frustrated with the OS on Xbox One.
Well, I don't know. It seems like when they were making this dash for Xbox One, they wanted it to be completely different from 360 because they didn't want people to feel like, oh, this is just 360 all over again. But because it's nothing like the 360's dash at all.
But whoever's idea it was to go completely out of your game to do all this shit sucks.
Right.
I mean,
and I also don't like how when I snap something, it makes my game smaller.
Yeah.
And blah blah blah. So now with the new dash, it'll just do the overlay, and your game will stay the size that it's supposed to be.
Some of the settings, like the change the volume of your snapped apps and stuff, are so buried in settings that I got to go completely out of. Not only my game, but what I have snapped, and go completely out of it. Open up a settings menu. Go to just to change the volume of that. It should be easily accessible, man. If I want to read a message, they've at least done a better job with messages.
Yeah.
Where now when you snap it, it just stays snapped and doesn't become a big screen or anything. But God, I could go on and on about the fuck ups that were in this OS. And I never really noticed them at first until you spent extensive time with your Xbox One.
Yeah.
That's when these things start to come.
Well, and then it's especially worse if you don't have a Kinect.
Yeah, but they've done a good job of improving that too. But yeah, it makes it easier to just say Xbox do this, Xbox do that.
Yeah.
But that doesn't make it any faster as far as how it loads.
It just makes it easier to navigate.
Right. Yeah. And anyways, they are promising, and the people that have even tested it are saying that this new OS is just, there's no comparison in the speed. That you won't have to ever wait to see what your friend said in a message again.
Yeah.
That it'll just come up over top of your game without making your game smaller. And then you can just press left, press right, and you're out of it.
I also love those Cortana features they were showing off.
That's going to be a game changer.
Where I'm like, Cortana, is J-Ray online? Yes, J-Ray's online. That's going to be pretty Cortana, cool. Invite J-Ray to a party.
Well, did you see what they did with the Fable Legends?
No.
They said, Cortana, what is the next what? I guess it's going to interact in-game, too, because they said, Cortana, what is the next mission that I should do? And it comes up and it says, the Lost Village has been completed. Now you can move on to such and such. Would you like me to set a waypoint?
Huh.
And I was like, maybe it's going to be actually, interactable with games, too, in some sort of way.
That would be crazy.
Yeah, you go back and watch it, and you'll see it. They actually use it for Fable Legends.
Yeah, that'll be great then.
Yeah, imagine being...
The question is, though, is that going to work for every game? Or
probably not.
Are developers going to have to do something a little extra?
Probably. Who knows? I don't know. I would imagine it would have to be something that they would have to at least allow as a developer. You know what I mean?
Right.
But hell, shit, if you're playing Dragon Age and you're like, Xbox, make such and such my active mission.
Right.
Or Cortana, fast travel me to Skyhold. That'd be pretty dope.
Feeling it.
All right. Anyway, I guess that's it for today.
That's it.
That's it.
Show. Catch y'all next time.
Peace.
Frag Radio.